Howdy and welcome to the Confidence Through Health podcast. I'm Jerry Snyder. As an elite level athlete, owner of All In Health and Wellness, and author of the book Confidence Through Health, my goal is to help you achieve your goals and dreams using health as the conduit to get there. So I want to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode, American Sports and Fitness Association. They are the place to go for your personal trainer and fitness certifications. They have a wide range of certifications, everything from personal trainer to golf fitness instructor to water aerobics to nutrition and sports nutrition. If you've been thinking about going into sports and fitness instructor arena, I highly suggest you check out the American Sports and Fitness Association. There's a link on my website, confidencethroughhealth.com. You can go there to look at other episodes of the website, but also check out their information. It'll link to their website, and you can check out more information about how to get certified as a sports and fitness instructor. So welcome back to the Confidence Through Health podcast. This is Jerry Snyder, your host, and what I wanted to talk about today is sleep. And I've had a lot of clients recently that I've coached for their health and nutrition, and I know I've touched on this before about sleep, but one of the things that's interesting to me is the number of people that are not getting proper sleep, which I think we all probably know that that's a factor in our lives. But it's not so much that we're not getting proper sleep on an individual night basis, but that's the compounding effect of those nights back to back to back. And the number of people that are on CPAP machines, or should be based on their doctor's diagnosis on a CPAP machine. The number of people that wake up in the middle of the night and are unable to go back to sleep. The number of people that wake up and decide I need to move to a different location to sleep because I can't breathe, so I need to change my positioning, which means move from the bed to a recliner, something like that. So the interesting thing is, if we learn how to breathe properly, then a lot of times that can solve our sleep problems. And as I mentioned before in a previous episode, that I had a choir director in high school who would say that you breathe best when you're asleep. That's like when you breathe most normal, most proper. But that's when you're healthy. When you're unhealthy, when you're not breathing properly when you're awake, and you continue those habits when you go to sleep, then the snoring, the stop breathing pattern, the inability to breathe deeply as you sleep, all those things affect your sleep patterns, and your inability to breathe properly then becomes an issue that disrupts your sleep. And when you disrupt your sleep, what you're doing is you're disrupting your body's ability to repair itself, your body's ability to rejuvenate itself, your body's ability to get rid of toxins, get rid of waste properly, and not just the waste that's in your gut, but like the waste that gets into your body, into your systems, into your bloodstream, into your cells, the waste that's created through just biological function in your cells. There's a waste from that process, and that has to be taken somewhere. And a lot of that takes place overnight. And when you're not allowing that to take place properly, then what happens is you get long-term illness, chronic illness. You get disruptive sleep patterns that can stack on each other because it becomes routine, becomes the norm, if you will, when it's not the norm. It's not the way that you should go. It's not the way that our life should go. And just because, just put a number on it. If you say, 40% of the people I know are on a CPAP machine, or 40% of the people I know complain that they don't sleep well, or 80% of the people I know, or whatever the number is in your circle and community, that doesn't mean that you're normal if you have those problems. You may be normal from a statistical standpoint of the people you hang around with, but it's not a normal function of a human being. It's not a normal function of what our life should be and how to have a proper healthy life. And so really these two things together, breathing and sleeping, if you learn how to do them properly, could change your life. They could make you healthier. They could actually increase your ability to lose weight if you're overweight. They could increase your ability to prevent cancer, prevent diabetes, prevent other long-term chronic diseases like heart disease, high blood pressure, anxiety, depression. A lot of these things are preventable simply from breathing properly and sleeping properly. So what is proper sleep? Proper sleep for an adult is 7+ hours. So you're looking for 7 to 9 hours a night. It does not matter to me, and it does not matter to the medical community, and research has shown it does not matter how you get that sleep from the standpoint of, do you have to go to sleep by 9 o'clock and wake up at 5 o'clock? Or do you have to go to sleep by midnight and wake up at 8 o'clock? That doesn't matter so much as the pattern needs to be the same. The rhythm needs to be the same. So if you go to sleep at 9 o'clock every night, you need to go to sleep at 9 o'clock every night, including weekends. If you go to sleep at midnight every night, you need to go to sleep at midnight every night, including weekends. And get that 7 to 8 hours of sleep to 9 hours of sleep every night. It's the habits of getting that 4 hours of sleep one night. The weekend comes along and you decide that you're going to stay out later than normal. And instead of sleeping in to get your continued sleep, you cut that short. Or let's say you go out on a Friday night. Normally you go to sleep at, say, 10 o'clock. Let's say you go out on a Friday night, you have dinner, you're out on the town, you don't get to sleep till midnight. So you lost 2 hours. But let's say you didn't lose 2 hours because you overslept the next Saturday morning. So you got your 8 hours. You went to bed at midnight. Say you get up at 8 o'clock. Well, then Saturday night, are you going to go to bed back at 10 o'clock again? Or are you going to go to bed at midnight? Because that's when you're now tired. So if you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you wake up at 6 the next day, you got your 8 hours. You're back on schedule. But if you go to get bed at midnight because your body's rhythm has now changed a little bit, and you say, I went to bed at midnight last night, I'll go to bed at midnight again Saturday night. And then Sunday morning, you get your 8 hours, you wake up at 8 o'clock. You're still good, right? Until Sunday night comes along. And now instead of going to bed at 10 o'clock, now you say, just go to bed at midnight again. That's fine. So you go to bed at midnight, but then you got to get up at 6 to go to work, or get ready for work, or get ready for the kids to do something, whatever. You get up at 6 o'clock. Now you only got 6 hours of sleep. That 6 hours is not 7. It's not 8. And it disrupts your body's ability to heal properly, your body's ability to repair properly. And then it can create a pattern, because now you're going to be tired on Monday. And so are you going to push through? Are you going to take a nap? If you take a nap, that could actually be beneficial. If you take it at the right time of the day, don't take it after, say, 2 or 3 o'clock, because then it's going to disrupt when you go to bed again Monday night. So the key is, with all that example, the key is to get your 8 hours a night, to get on average, and to not get less than 7, if at all possible, 2 days in a row, or really 2 days out of 7. So 2 days a week, you really don't want to be less than 7 hours of sleep. You want to be more than 7. You want to be closer to 8. You want to be at 9 if you need to catch up. And taking naps is okay, as long as you do it earlier in the afternoon, so that you're not disrupting your body's ability to go back to sleep at the end of the day on the proper schedule for you. So you can be a night owl. That's fine. You can be in early bed, early to rise. That's fine too. Each person's individually different. There's no scientific proof that you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be successful. Do I think it helps? Yeah, it helps. But if you're a morning person It helps a lot. If you're not a morning person, and pushing yourself to wake up at 5 o'clock to try and get stuff done can be very damaging in the long term to who you are. So stick with who you know you are, and you know who you are. You know if you're a morning person or a night person. You know those things about you. But stick to those things. And then incorporating breathing. And so what I want you to do, I did an episode before on how to breathe properly, and breathing using your diaphragm, breathing through your nose only. And what you want to do is do those exercises in the morning, right? It's the beginning of your day. First thing you do is do your breathing exercises in through your nose, out through your nose, holding your breath, expanding your lungs, getting everything working. So just like when you wake up, the first thing you should do is go to the bathroom, because you need to get rid of the toxins that have been created into your bowel and into your bladder. You need to get rid of those so they're not sitting in your body. The other thing is your lungs actually can dispel or disperse waste as well. And so as you wake up, you want to use your lungs. You want to use all of your lungs and expand everything in your chest cavity so that you can wake them up and get them working properly, but also so that you're getting rid of the waste that's been collected in your lungs overnight. So as you do that, breathe in through your nose through a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 4, breathe out through your nose for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 4, and do that cycle for 4 to 10 to 14 times. So you want to go from anywhere from a minute to 3 minutes. You can go for 5 minutes if you want to, if you have the time. It's a great time to also meditate a little bit or sit and think about your day, but not necessarily stress about it, but just think about how you want your day to go, how you want your day to be positive, how you're going to approach the day, not necessarily the tasks of the day, because that'll get your anxiety going, but more of how you're going to approach the day and how are you going to make the day successful? How are you going to win the day? So you can do all those things while you're breathing. Do those breathing exercises periodically throughout the day, but it's really important, especially if you have sleep problems, to do those exercises right before you fall asleep, even doing them as you fall asleep. So you're laying down in bed already. You are, your head's on the pillow, lights are out, the room's a bit chilly because you need it to be cold to help you go to sleep. And do those breathing exercises through your nose. And that'll train your body to prepare to breathe properly overnight as you sleep. And I know a lot of people will say, oh my gosh, but I breathe through my mouth all the time when I sleep because I have to, because I can't breathe through my nose, because it's just, I can't sleep that way. Believe me, you can. It takes time to train your body to do it again, to do it properly that way. Breathing through your nose, you use more of your lung capacity. You use more, you use your diaphragm more. And like I said, you're going to get more waste product out of your body. There's going to be more oxygen in your body to help repair the cells, because you get more oxygen. More oxygen is consumed through your lungs, through the alveoli. More oxygen is shared and consumed into your bloodstream when you breathe through your nose than when you breathe through your mouth. So you're going to get more oxygen in your system, which is going to help your body repair itself. The oxygenated blood will move quicker, move more efficiently, and get into your cells and help your body repair better, quicker, smoother overnight. And when you do that, you're going to sleep better. And so it's a function, it's a hand in hand. And so breathing and sleeping. And if you do those two things, a vast majority of people that do those two things well will start to eliminate health issues that are in their body, that are going on in their life, especially the chronic ones. You'll start to see those things start to fall away and fade away. And then the third tip, if you want a third thing to do that's really simple, is to just increase the water intake. Increase your water intake, not your fluid intake, not your liquid intake, specifically your water intake throughout the day. And you do those three things, and you will see massive improvements in your health. Your skin will look better. If you suffer from headaches, they will lessen dramatically. your sleep will get better. Your brain fog will start to go away. All these things will start to improve from these 3 simple little tips. 3 simple little things to do that can completely change your life. And now I get it. If you're a mom of a little child, I get it. My son did not sleep through the night until he was 6 years old. And so from the day we brought him home, we adopted him. He was 2 days old when we brought him home. From the day we brought him home till he was somewhere in the 6 to 6.5 year old, he did not sleep through the night. He still struggles on occasion sleeping through the night. And so it's tough when you got a little kid that wakes up screaming or walks into your room at 2:00 in the morning. That's disruptive to your sleep, and it's hard. I understand that. I lived through that. My wife lived through that. The key factor here is to try and get back to sleep as quick as you can, and to try and maintain your breathing and not get angry or upset or emotional during that nighttime. And I know it can be hard. I lost it several times, more than I could count, in the middle of the night. And it's tough because you wake up the next day. It's hard. And sometimes you don't go back to sleep because you get so emotional, you get so upset, you get so frustrated. And then the child's asleep and you're not, and you're up for an extra 4 hours. And so at that point, that's where that nap comes in. And I know it might be tough because you might be a working parent with a little child at home. Very difficult situation. The key then is if you can't get that nap in, then you've got to try and get extra sleep the next night or throughout the week. And so it might mean you're going to bed at 8:00 to try and catch up on sleep. But that's hugely important. The sleep deficit is a huge, huge factor in chronic diseases. And the majority of people in the U.S., at least, in the Western world, sort of Western society, majority of people have a sleep deprivation by the time they hit 40 of somewhere around 2.25 to 2.5 years of sleep deprivation. And so you'd have to sleep for 2 years, from 40 to 42. You'd have to sleep the entire time to catch up. And that's amazing that you can go from 40 years and create a 2-year deficit in something as simple as sleep. And so it's massively important. And if you could think of, if you're 40, and a lot of people hit 40 and they're like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden things got tougher. 43, and oh my gosh, my life just started to really hit, and like, oh, there is something to this. I turned 40 and whoa. But part of that is a little psychological, but part of that is that the sleep deprivation is really true and it's really catching up to you. And there's a certain part of life where you just can't maintain it anymore. You can't handle it anymore. And so there's a reason why you see grandparents, 65, 70, 75, 80. There's a reason you see those grandparents sleeping so much. Some of them you look at and you're like, oh my gosh, they've got so much energy. How do they get so much energy? And I would guarantee you, if you asked them, they had better sleep patterns than the grandparents, than the elderly people that you see that are having issues staying awake, that are falling asleep at any given time of the day. And it's just, if they stop doing anything for a long enough period of time, they'll be asleep. So that's a big factor. And stress obviously is a big factor too. But if you're breathing properly and you're sleeping well, the stress factor goes way down. It goes way down. So managing your health, managing your life, 3 simple steps. First 2, very simple. Learn how to breathe properly and sleep better. And the 2 go hand in hand. And the 3rd is just drinking more water. And I've talked about all 3 of these separately in different podcasts, but together they really do. It's the trifecta that's going to change your health if you can adopt these habits. And if you can just simply say, these 3 things are more important in my life than anything else I do for my health. These 3 things are more important in my life. And if you do those things, I guarantee you will see a massive change in your life, in your health. May not be an immediate, it's not going to be like a 24-hour turnaround, but you will see change within a few weeks. You will see change as it continues for a month, 2 months, 3 months. And then once it becomes a lifestyle change, you're going to start to see those chronic diseases disappear. And your doctor's going to say, what did you do? How did you change your life? What did you do? And you just simply say, I learned how to breathe properly. I learned how to sleep better. And I drink more water. And they're going to be a little bit shocked because it's that simple. You don't need a pill. It's that simple. Those 3 things can drastically change your life. So adopt those 3 habits. Go out and change your life. Make yourself better, because when you make yourself better, guess what? You make all of us better. Because when we're all better, when we're all making ourselves better individually, we become better as a corporate body. And when we're better as a corporate body, society is better for it. We lift each other up. We take care of each other. We help each other. And that's a much better world to live in, because we're going to be happier. Because if you're happier with yourself, because you're feeling better, because you're breathing better, because you're sleeping better, because you're more hydrated, because you're not sick, you don't have dis-ease, you're not diseased, you're at ease, you're feeling well. When everybody feels well, guess what? Everybody's going to do well, and everybody's going to lift each other up, and it's going to be a much happier place to live. So let's make it a much happier place to live, and let's go out there and take care of ourselves. Thanks for checking out the All in Health and Wellness Confidence Through Health podcast. Our goal is to use health as a conduit to help you reach your goals in life.
A little lighter than me. I'm about to black out, her grip is getting tighter on me. I think I like it deep inside, I feel the fire in me. She like the milky, see me cream into the coffee in me. She got soul in the sway.